shit, I was here saying what's up to y'all and I had the fucking thing muted. But yeah, this is a yellow-faced timber rattlesnake. This is a female I raised up from a baby. She she is the mother to some of the babies that y'all have seen so far on the channel. Come on, the third person in here, go ahead, hit that like button. Thank you, appreciate it. She's not real happy because I just took her out of her tub and put her in here so we could look at her. I haven't checked my email in a minute, Zom, but let me check it out here. Let me see. Let me go shut this loser's alarm off. What up? What's up, guys? Hit that like button for the yellow phase timber rattlesnake. Appreciate y'all stopping by. I'll check into the second part of your email and figure that out. Hell yeah. Absolutely. But anyway, guys, tonight here, I want to talk a little bit about some snakes here, and before we get started, though, let's just take a moment, like I usually do before working with venomous reptiles, and say a little prayer. So, Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us here safely today. We thank you for the opportunity to learn about your creation, from the smallest insect to the most misunderstood animals on the planet. Lord, we ask for safety, we ask for wisdom and respect as we work with and talk about venomous snakes. Help us replace fear with understanding, ignorance with knowledge, and carelessness with responsibility. Watch over our hands, our minds, and our decisions. In your name we pray. Amen. Now, guys, now that we're covered spiritually and legally, let's talk snakes. Specifically, one of the most iconic, misunderstood, and honestly underrated rattlesnakes in North America. It's the yellow-faced timber rattlesnake, which comes from the northeastern United States. Now, when most people hear rattlesnake, their brain immediately goes to panic mode, heart rate up, or, that kind of fight or flight activated. Suddenly, everyone's cousin has a story about one time I almost stepped on a snake the size of a telephone pole. But the timber rattlesnake, especially the yellow phase, is not the Hollywood villain, that a lot of people want to make it out to be. Let's talk about what, a yellow-faced timber rattlesnake is, Let's start with what we're actually talking about, the timber rattlesnake. The scientific name is Crotalus horridus. It's one of the oldest rattlesnake species in North America. And yes, the scientific name literally translates to horrid rattlesnake, which, let's be honest, that was a PR disaster from the start. The yellow phase, found in the northeastern United States typically, shows a yellowish green, or golden base color, with dark brown or black bands. And even sometimes a rusty or cinnamon colored dorsal stripe down the back. As you see, this specific individual here does not have that dorsal stripe. But they always have that classic black tail with a rattle that sounds like nature's warning label. Yeah, zookeeper, quite a few. What's that? Yes, there's many different types of rattlesnakes out there. Absolutely. Um, Guys, whenever I am, whenever I'm working with these snakes or, talking about them or anything like that, I don't follow the comments closely, but soon as I am done, you know, I try to keep my focus 100% on them while I have the, enclosures opened. But afterwards, I do look back at the comments and I will address any questions. But there are some knowledgeable people in the chat, that can probably answer some of the questions. And if you don't mind while you're here, please hit that thumbs up button for us. Help us get this out there to more people so we can spread the education, and the information about these animals. There's a there's a whole lot more importance to these animals than a lot of people, really even understand. But guys, obviously the timber rattlesnake is not a flashy, neon snake, it's just more of a woodland camouflage, that was perfected over thousands of years. Basically, if the forest had a dress code, this snake understood the assignment. In the Northeast, these snakes are found, in like New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, parts of New England, and, then they're even found on down through the Appalachian region. Um, as you go south, they at one time was known as a canebrake rattlesnake. But they really love the rocky ridges, forests, the forested hillsides. Generally, you'll find them on a south-facing slope and old dens that have been used for just generations upon generations. Some of these dens was used for hundreds of years. Um, it basically means that like great 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 grandma rattlesnake was using the same winter hideout, you know, before your town even had Starbucks. Um, let's clear up, and address maybe one of the biggest myths right away. Timber rattlesnakes are not aggressive. They're actually considered one of the calmest rattlesnake species out there. They don't want to chase you. They don't want to bite you. They don't want your boots. They don't want your dog. And they don't want your fucking YouTube channel. What they really want is to not be stepped on. They don't want to be harassed. They don't want to be killed, just for existing. You know, someone tries to pick one up, someone tries to kill it, or someone didn't look where they are stepping, it's how most bites happen. In other words, the snake didn't wake up and choose violence. A human made a poor life decision. You know, let's talk about that rattle that we're listening to right now. The timber rattlesnake's rattle is not there to scare you. It's actually there to save your life and your limbs, and to save the snake's life most of all. It's literally saying, hey, I'm here. Let's not make this weird. You know, and just a fun fact, rattlesnakes, they don't always rattle. Sometimes they stay silent, because of things, reasons like they might be cold. they're conserving energy, or that they learn that rattling, gets them killed, It attracts things, But if they need to rattle as a warning to tell you to, hey, back off, they will. So the idea that, it didn't rattle so it must be aggressive is just fucking nonsense. That's kind of like blaming a parked car because you walked into it while you were texting. Now, yes, this is a venomous snake. Yes, the venom is medically significant. But here's what matters. Timber rattlesnake venom is primarily hemotoxic, and basically it means that it affects the blood and the tissue, not so much your nervous system. And here's something that surprises some people, Timber rattlesnakes are known for venom control. Dry bites are extremely common with timber rattlesnakes. Defensive strikes, often give little or no venom at all. And you might ask why, And that's just because venom is very expensive to the snake to make, It takes a lot of energy and a lot of time to replenish that venom. That snake would rather save it for food than to waste it on a pair of hiking boots or some dumbass with a crooked mohawk. So, with that, we got to talk a little bit about, the ecological importance, and why this snake actually matters. Timber rattlesnakes are apex predators in their ecosystem. They help control populations of mice and rats and chipmunks, really any small mammals that carry Lyme's disease, So if you like fewer ticks, fewer rodents, and fewer diseases, you should be really sending thank you cards to this rattlesnake. Honestly, they're out here doing public health work, for free and still getting a bad reputation. Unfortunately, the northeastern timber rattlesnake is declining. Habitat loss, road mortality, illegal collection, fear-based killings, they have all taken a very serious toll on this rattlesnake. In a lot of states, they're protected or endangered or even listed just as a species of special concern. Which means if you kill one, you're not just harming wildlife, you're also potentially signing yourself up for, fines or a prison sentence. That would hurt worse, much worse than that venom. Take it from me, I have done both. I've had the actual venom. I've had the actual jail sentence, not for collecting the snakes, but I've been there, and I would take a rattlesnake bite all day over a prison sentence. But, and trust me, court paperwork is way more stressful than respecting a snake. um, these snakes are most active from spring through fall. In the springtime, usually, around the middle of May, maybe the end of May, depending on the temperature in the Northeast, they'll emerge from their dens, they'll just lay on rocks and bask to warm up, they'll shed, and then they'll start eating. In the summertime, the females will usually stay close to the dens if they're gravid. The males, and the younger females will roam farther out looking for food and they'll actually travel, the males will travel up to 5 miles from their den site in search of food and mates. The females usually stay within a half a mile to a mile from their den site in a very rocky area that is called a gestation area or a birthing rookery. And then in the fall, they'll return to their same exact den for brumation. And during the winter, they pile into these rocky dens together, like scaly introverts avoiding social interaction. And guys, when I talk about these snakes, I'd like to put a little bit of a light moment in there as well, and maybe tell a couple little bit of jokes, They might be dad jokes or stupid jokes, but I like to throw some stuff in there, you know. And, people say snakes are cold and heartless, but these timber rattlesnakes, they share dens. They avoid conflict. They give warnings. They mind their business.
Meanwhile, humans argue online. They ignore warning signs. And they poke things that they shouldn't. So maybe the snake isn't the problem. If you are in timber rattlesnake country, some good ways to stay safe are to just simply watch where you step. Don't put your hands where you can't see. Leave them a fuck alone. Respect their space. You don't need snake boots made out of tank armor. You need awareness and common sense made out of real life experience. And again, more common sense. But the yellow phase, or just the timber rattlesnake in general, is not a monster. It's a survivor. It's a guardian of the forest. It's a symbol of wild America that's quietly disappearing. If we can learn to respect this snake instead of fearing it, we protect not just the species, but an entire ecosystem. So the next time someone says the only good snake is a dead snake, you can say, no, the good rattlesnake is the one doing its job while we learn to do ours. And guys, I just want to thank you for listening, and when you're out there in the woods and stuff, just stay safe, watch your step out there. Respect the animal, and the animal will respect you. That's just how this works.
Come on, guys. I see 17 people watching, only 10 likes. Looks to me like we got a couple of lurkers not wanting to hit that like button. It might help, the virtual reptarium out a little bit. So you got to be careful. What up, Patrick? Exactly. You're in their place. You're in their place. For sure. What up, Jamie? Jamie, you have to do it on a computer, buddy. I think you can get in there on your mobile through Studio. I'll try to figure it out and let you know, brother. You might want to get rid of any other mods, Jamie. I'm not trying to be a jerk, dude. You do what you want. It's your channel, but they're already starting. Zookeeper said, as an adult, I learned that the world around us sends messages and warnings in every moment. If we ignore them or if we don't get them, we get hurt, and we can't expect realistic things from life. That I agree with you, Zookeeper. I agree completely. Guys, you can dream it into existence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's some things to learn. I'm going to show y'all another timber rattlesnake here very soon. He's not in as good a shape. He had a bout with snake fungal disease, and you know, he's doing better though. He's getting better. What up, Bobby Sue? Um, I've already talked to Sue earlier. I have Sue. I have a message from Sue actually for Bobby Joe. Sue is actually not going to make it onto the stream right away tonight. She had to go see some family for some very important stuff. I got you, zookeeper. I got you. Yep, yellow phase timber rattlesnake. This is the true yellow phase that would be found in the northeastern United States. Yeah, hit that like button. Yeah, whenever we get out the house, we'll show the eyelash vipers. That'll be cool. What's up, bro? You're not real happy about this, are you? Hmm. You're not real happy about this. You're not real impressed. All right, girl. Hmm. Yeah, you're not real impressed with her look down on you like this. Let's get a look at you like this. Yeah, they are delicious. They sure are. I've eaten timber rattlesnake myself before. It's not something I would eat every day, but I would certainly eat it again. Certainly. Maybe we can have a cookout one day and eat one.
Long as you get a permit to go get one, I don't mind cooking it for you. It's just like anything else, guys. There is a balance. There is a purpose for hunting. There is a purpose for, fishing. There's a purpose for all of that, There's a necessity for those things. So, it's certainly understandable. You're not going to see me being one of them unrealistic people that say, oh no, you can't eat an animal, save the cows. No. Fuck that. There's a balance. You can hunt these things, you can, keep them, as pets, you can do whatever. They're just do it responsibly, and that's it. What's up, Forest Cobra? You shed it again, buddy. Good job, dude. Good job, dude. What's up, kitty? There is a chance to survive without antivenom. Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. When I was bit by the copperhead, I never received antivenom, and I'm just fine. The only thing that I have that seems to be permanent is some swelling in my hand that just does not go away. My hand is swollen forever. Thank you, Mystic Mountain. Appreciate that, man. My girl, my man, my whatever. Y'all, thanks. Appreciate that for real. I have shouted out your channel a few times, trying to get people over there to check you out. And Zombula is correct. It will cause damage. Like example, this is my hand after a copperhead bite. You see I got permanent fucking swelling in my hand. And now just a simple little tap on something with it, actually scratches it or makes it bleed and stuff. So it was very stupid of me to not get treatment when I got bit. Oh, all right, Casey. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But I know you're a snake guy, so I'm sure you know already, but this is a yellow phase timber rattlesnake. This is a true yellow phase, that would be found in the wild in the northeastern United States, areas like New York, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, or New England, and those areas. The timber rattlesnake is found throughout the eastern United States, all the way from New England to northeastern or northern portions of Florida, as far west as Minnesota and northeastern Texas. However, for a very long time, many years, they were called a canebrake rattlesnake in the southeast. However, after years of research and studying, they have determined the canebrake rattlesnake and the timber rattlesnake are one and the same. They've actually always sort of been one and the same. The canebrake scientific name used to be Crotalus horridus horridus, and the timber rattlesnake has always been Crotalus horridus. And they have lumped them all together into one big group. I still personally feel that there is a difference between the timber rattlesnake and the canebrake rattlesnake, but who am I to argue with science and all of that stuff? So, now personally in my collection, I still consider a canebrake and a timber, but I just do that because that's how I've known it my whole life, and to me it still makes sense. I like those because of the stripes versus the diamond pattern. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. The chevrons, or like as you see with this one here that we're looking at, it's got part way down the body, it's got blotches, but then it turns into the full stripe chevron. Whereas like here, let me show you an actual cane break here. Can I get to the cane break? Yeah, right here's a cane break baby. Let me show you a cane break baby, and you'll see the differences. For those of you who don't know exactly what I'm trying to describe, this is a cane break baby, and you see you see the colors more of like a sandy tan gray kind of color, where and it's got those chevrons that go the whole way across. Whereas the timber is more of a yellow, actual true yellow color, or greenish yellow. Was you able to fix it, Jamie? Oh wow, Mystic, I saw that. Why again do they call them a cane break? They seem to both have the well, the reason that they call them a cane break was basically the areas that they were found. They're in the South. They were found. In the a lot of the marshy areas. In like the cane patches and stuff like that. And now there is another lesser known rattlesnake in the United States, and in the southeastern United States and the northeastern United States. Um, I do not have an eastern, but the one I'm going to show you is the same snake. It's just the color, the pattern is the same, the coloration is different. But I will show you and try to explain it here. Okay, so this snake right here is a lesser known rattlesnake of the United States. This is what's called the Massasauga rattlesnake. And I believe that Mystic actually said the name of the cane, or the Massasauga, a little bit ago. Or no, he said about a prairie. Okay. But this is the Massasauga rattlesnake. This one is the desert Massasauga, but the eastern Massasauga is found throughout the eastern United States, especially the northeastern portion of the United States, all the way up into Canada. Now, the eastern Massasauga is an endangered species. You do not see the Massasauga very often anymore. Very hard to get a hold of. But yeah, now the Massasauga rattlesnake is a very small rattlesnake. The one you are looking at is an extremely large example of the Massasauga rattlesnake, but it's at the very top end of the size you typically see out of these snakes. And speaking of prairie rattlesnakes, that black spot you see on this Massasauga right there is a healing spot from where this guy was bit by a prairie rattlesnake. The deadliest snake that I've ever had, the deadliest snake that I've ever had and have is the inland taipan. But yes, the gaboon viper can be very fast. You caught two babies like that. I assume they were prairie rattlers. Are they just similar? No, if you caught two babies that look like this, they are probably Massasaugas. I will show you a prairie here. Let me grab a prairie. Uh, Hang on, I gotta get a Tupperware container to put it in real quick. And then I will bring the prairie over there and show you. Come on, Dick. All right. Now, so I got to move this quick. Let me move this snake out the way, and I will get the prairie up here. What's up, Dick? Now, this snake right here, his name is Dick. And his name's Dick for a reason. It's because he's a dick. Come on, damn it. Now, darn it. What the hell are you doing here? Alright, here we go. Alright, bud. So, this right here is the prairie rattlesnake. Let me see. There we go. This is the prairie rattlesnake. So, while they may be a little similar in pattern, to me, there's a very stark difference. I can see how somebody would maybe think, one is the other, especially as a baby. Yes, Mystic. The Massasauga rattlesnake, as I was explaining, the eastern Massasauga is found, in the northeastern portions of the United States up into Canada. Now, you have Massasaugas that go all the way out west. You've got the western Massasauga and the desert Massasauga. They are all subspecies of the Massasauga rattlesnake. Yeah, that'd be cool. Take a look at that video and see. Maybe they were Massasaugas all along and you thought it was, a prairie. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, that you found some Massasaugas. Now, a Massasauga baby is going to be extremely small. I mean, it's probably going to be somewhere around 6 inches long, maybe, At least I've been told 6 inches is small. Yeah, oh, yep, okay. Gotcha. What up, Tom? Are you late because you were stacking moon bricks? What the hell do you have going on? Yes, rattlesnakes give live birth. Yes, sir. I gotta grab a Pepsi, guys. I'll be right with you. I'm too fat for steps. Holy fuck. Whew. God damn. Alright, give me a second. Let me switch this snake over here quick. Oh shit. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's see here. There we go. Alright, hang on, Dick. Let me get another snake here. Alright. Yes, it's the jealous snake boy. G2. I have caught some pretty cool and rare reptiles, like rubber boas and sharp-tailed snakes. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. There is a snake, I'm trying to remember the name of it. There's a snake that is in the south. Son of a bitch. They have thought for a long time that this snake was non-venomous, but they have recently discovered that it is actually rather potently venomous. It is something like the... What the hell is the name of that snake? It's something like it's, you know, I know the mock viper is not from the United States, but it's something like the mock viper. Can't remember, but I don't know. But anyway, but here, I'll show you another small rattlesnake species of the United States. I got it right here in another Tupperware container. Let me get it out here. But I got it here in this other Tupperware container. There we go. I got him. Okay. And I made sure not to give him no water. Alright, right here. Alright, little guy, here. Let's put a light on you. Let's put a light on you, because you're a pretty guy. Alright. Here we go. But this is another small rattlesnake species of the United States. This is the banded rock rattlesnake. Yeah, hognose snakes are venomous. Yes, very mild venom. Yes. Come on, Bubba. You're hiding from us. Here, let's do it this way. There you go. But guys, let's look at a snake here it doesn't get nearly the credit it deserves. They're not the biggest rattlesnake. They're not the loudest. And it's not the one that people put warning signs on. But pound for pound, camouflage for camouflage, this thing is an absolute masterpiece of nature. I'm talking about this guy here, the banded rock rattlesnake, which is the Crotalus lepidus, and more specifically, the populations found in and around the Santa Rita Mountains of southern Arizona. Now, first off, if you've never heard of the banded rock rattlesnake, don't feel bad. That's kind of the point. The snake survives, by not being noticed. It's the introverse of the rattlesnake world. If rattlesnakes had social media, this one would have zero posts, no profile pictures, and it would just use still images as short videos. And it still wouldn't be found by a very small group. And let's start a little bit here with what makes this snake. The banded rock rattlesnake is a small rattlesnake, usually 18 to 30 inches long. 30 inches would be a huge example. So no, it's not going to stretch across the trail like an eastern diamondback and make you reconsider your life choices. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for in precision and attitude. This species is built for one thing, the Rocky Mountain terrain. And that's where the Santa Rita Mountains come in. The Santa Ritas are, part of what's known as the Sky Islands. They're just isolated mountain ranges, that rise out of the desert floor. You could be, standing in the hot Sonoran desert scrub and then just a few thousand feet higher, you're in the oak woodland, the pine forest, the cooler air, and totally different wildlife. It's sort of that transition zone, that's where the banded rock rattlesnake really shines. These snakes are commonly found, among rock outcrops, the tallest slopes, canyon walls, and just the rugged hillsides. Places where stepping wrong means that, you're sliding 10 feet and questioning why you wore smooth-soled boots. And it's where the camera really comes in. The Santa Rita banded rock rattlesnakes are often gray, silver, or tan with kind of a bluish hue, with darker crossbands, that kind of break up the outline of the body. When the snake coils up on granite or limestone, it doesn't just blend in, it completely fucking disappears. You can be staring right at one and not even know it until it moves. And even then, you're still not 100% sure. Honestly, half of the sightings of this snake happen because someone heard a rattle and thought that it sounded personal. We need to talk a little bit about their behavior because this snake is not out there looking for drama. The banded rock rattlesnakes are generally calm. They're cryptic and they are reluctant to rattle. Unlike some rattlesnakes that seem to announce their presence like, hey, this is my spot, these guys rely on, just staying hidden. The rattle is the last resort. It's not really a greeting. Like the Western Diamondback, they're just big, mouthy ass noisemakers. In the Santa Rita Mountains, they're often, crepuscular, which means that they're active at dawn and dusk, especially during the warmer months. In the cooler weather, they may bask near rocks, to absorb heat. And in the heat of the summer, they retreat into cracks and crevices, where the temperatures are more stable. And the crevices, that's just like prime real estate. The Santa Ritas offer endless cracks. If you've ever been there, you see there's tons of ledges and shaded rock piles that are basically luxury condos for rattlesnakes. Diet wise, they're very efficient predators. They like small mammals like mice and pack rats. That makes up a huge part of their menu. And they will eat an occasional lizard. There's no wasted movement. There's no flashy strikes. It's just patience, timing, and, venom perfectly evolved for quick immobilization. And speaking of their venom, people start leaning forward. Yes, they're venomous. Rattlesnake. No, it's not out there to end your existence. The banded rock rattlesnake has a potent but low yield venom. That means it's very effective for its prey, but the snake doesn't inject large amounts. Bites to humans are extremely rare, and when they do occur, they're typically defensive situations involving someone putting a hand or foot where they shouldn't have. So, the safety rule here is very simple with this snake. If you're climbing around rocks in the Santa Ritas, just look before you grab. The snake was there first. It's not chasing you. It's hoping you would walk past without noticing it. These mountains in the Santa Ritas aren't just home to banded rock rattlesnakes. They support, a huge mix of desert and mountain species. Everything from, everything from lizards and snakes to mountain lions to, elegant dragoons and just all kinds of stuff. The banded rock rattlesnake is just part of a delicate, interconnected ecosystem. And because the snake has, such specific habitat requirements, it can be sensitive to disturbance, habitat destruction, excessive mining, irresponsible rock collecting, and obviously, like all snakes, unnecessary killing. And all of these impact local populations. And that's why education matters. When people learn that this snake is shy, localized, and beneficial, and controls rodent populations, they tend to stop seeing it as a threat and start seeing it as, what it really is. Just a specialist doing its job. And let's be honest, there's something cool about an animal that survives by being perfectly matched to its environment. No bright colors on the eyebrows. No intimidating, social media posts. Just evolution saying, if you don't move, no one will ever know you're there. In the Santa Rita Mountains, the banded rock rattlesnake is a reminder that some of the most impressive wildlife isn't loud or obvious. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't dominate. It survives quietly, year after year, blended into the stone, that's older than any of us. So, again, if you're ever out there, hiking those rocky slopes, scrambling through a canyon or admiring the rugged beauty of the Santa Ritas, just remember, you might be sharing that space with one of the most perfectly camouflaged rattlesnakes in North America. And if you don't get, that just means it's doing its job perfectly. They sure have. They sure the fuck have. Oh shit, Sue, you're back. Good, I'm glad you're back, Sue. Your trip went safe with your family there. I'm glad you enjoy it, Mystic. Thank you. Ha ha, Virtual has the same shirt on again today. Ha 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 ha. He's a dirtbag. And this guy right here, that feller is Snitch. Snitch is a snitch. He likes to tell on me. God damn it, I want to be David Attenborough, or however you say that. Attenborough. Yeah, man. I have a new channel that's coming up, and I intend to, make a bunch of those kind of documentary type uh, videos for it and stuff. But let me get a little bit of light on this guy here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Yeah, I got a light right here. Let me just turn this light on. That'll work. What do you think, Snitch? Will that work, buddy? What do you think, Snitchy? Yeah, that'll work, dude. That'll work. That'll work, Bubba. How about that? Yeah. What's up, Snitch? Are you gonna shed, buddy, huh? You don't seem like you're in the mood for my shit tonight. You're not in the mood for my antics. But guys, this one right here is a snake that sort of looks like it was designed by someone who said, what if we took one of the toughest rattlesnakes in North America and made it look like it belongs at Mark Motors, a sports car showroom? Obviously, I'm talking about the tangerine albino, western diamondback rattlesnake, our boy Snitch. He's a morph of the Crotalus atrox, that stops people just in their tracks the first time they see it. Now, most of you are probably familiar with the western diamondback in general. It's one of the most iconic rattlesnakes in the United States. If rattlesnakes had a mascot, atrox would be it. Big head, bold attitude, loud rattle, and zero hesitation about letting you know when you cross the line. But the tangerine albino, that's a whole different level of eye-catching. First, we gotta clear something up quick. This is not a different species of snake. Genetically, it is still a western diamondback. It still has the same behavior. It still has the same venom. It still has the same instinct. And it still has the same dickhead attitude. The difference comes from albinism, combined with selective expression, which removes dark pigmentation and it replaces those classic browns and blacks with bright oranges, yellows, peaches, and creams. Instead of earth tones, you get something that looks like a rattlesnake dipped in sunrise. And yes, before anybody asks, it's real, it's not AI. Nature really did this. In the wild, albino rattlesnakes are extremely rare, especially in species like atrox, that normally relies on bold contrast and camouflage. In natural desert conditions, being bright orange is not exactly stealth mode. So most tangerine albino western diamondbacks you'll see are captive bred, where they can thrive without predators, seeing them from 3 zip codes away. Now, let's talk about the western diamondback itself, because the morph doesn't change what this snake is at heart. The Crotalus atrox is a large, heavy-bodied rattlesnake, often reaching 4 to 5 feet, with some individuals as much as 6 feet. It's a powerhouse snake. Neck, muscular body, and a head that looks like it means business, even when it's doing absolutely nothing. The species is native to the American Southwest, areas like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Oklahoma, and down into northern Mexico. The deserts, scrublands, rocky hills, grasslands, if it's dry and there's food, Atrox is comfortable. And comfort is important because this snake is confident. Western Diamondbacks are known for being alert and assertive. They are never aggressive. There is a difference, but very willing to stand their ground. I mean, this snake is probably one of the bravest rattlesnakes I have ever seen in my life. When threatened, they don't whisper, let's just say that. They don't hide. They rattle like they're shaking a maraca at a bad fucking Kid Rock concert. The rattle isn't anger, it's communication. It's the snake saying, I see you, you're too close, let's not make this a thing. Now, here's where the tangerine albino gets interesting. Behavior-wise, nothing changes. The snake doesn't know it's orange. It doesn't think it's special. It still acts like a Western Diamondback. It is still very alert, very intelligent, and very aware of its surroundings. But visually, it's a showstopper. Those iconic diamond patterns are still there, but instead of dark outlines, they're soft peach and golden tones. The tail rings, they fade into pale yellows instead of black and white. The eyes are pink and red. It's just a hallmark of albinism. It's the same blueprint. It's just flipped into a completely different color palette. Now, let's talk about their venom, because with Western Diamondback, that's always part of the conversation. Crotalus atrox has hemotoxic venom. It's designed to break down tissue and disrupt blood clotting. It is highly effective. And this species delivers a large venom yield, much larger than many other rattlesnakes. That doesn't mean it injects venom every time. It is capable of dry bites, but it's not a snake that likes to give warning shots. The key thing to understand is, color does not affect venom potency. A tangerine albino Western Diamondback is just as venomous as a normal colored one. Pretty does not mean harmless, as most of us men land. Now, let's talk about why these snakes matter. Western Diamondbacks, just like all the other rattlesnakes we've talked about so far, play a huge role in controlling rodent populations. Again, mice, rats, squirrels. Without snakes like populations explode, and that causes real ecological and human problems. Even albino individuals, when kept responsibly in captivity, serve an important role in education and conservation awareness. They help people see rattlesnakes as not monsters, but as complex, beautiful animals worthy of respect. And respect is really the theme here. Because whether it's a wild colored diamondback or a bright tangerine albino, the snake isn't evil. It's not hunting people. It's not looking for attention. It's doing exactly what evolution, wanted it to do. They wanted it to eat and survive and defend itself when necessary. So when you see a tangerine albino Western Diamondback, you're not just seeing a cool color morph. You're seeing one of North America's most successful predators, just wearing a rare and stunning genetic variation. It's a reminder that nature doesn't build for function, but sometimes for breathtaking beauty too. It's proof that even the animals we fear most can be absolutely unforgettable when we take time to understand them. And honestly, if you're going to respect a rattlesnake, you might as well respect one that looks like it came, straight out of a desert sunset. Yeah, pied deer are pretty badass. And if you were saying that as a joke, there really are pied deer. It's all right, Snitch. I promise, Bubba. I'm not going to fuck with you. I'm not making you get out of your cage right now, dude. It's okay. I promise, okay? You can just stay right there. You can stay right there. I'm not going to make you come out today and play, okay? Nope, you don't have to come out and play. I know you're not feeling it. What's up? What's up, little dude? Anybody want to take a crack at what we're looking at here? I never heard of or saw a pied peacock, though. Zombula for the win. Can you narrow down which mamba this is, Zombula? Oh no. Oh no. I just came up with a fucking idea. Guys. Y'all wait till tomorrow. I just came up with a genius fucking idea. Yep. The pied peacock. It is, you were pretty close, Zombula. It is a West African green mamba. All mambas are African, but yes, this is the West African green. Yes, sir. Where are you going, Bubba? What are you going to do? You're going to hide. Are you going to hide? He said, yeah, I'm going to hide unless you open this cage up. Then I'm going to fucking show your ass, bitch. You know, every time, like, I go up to that cage, that snake is, like, up there with his one eye staring at, you know, staring right into my soul, saying, you know, like, you know, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. It's a little bit fucking, let's use E2's words, a little creepy. Yeah, they do look like feathers, Patrick. Yeah, you got banned over there, but they still let the zero cards over there, don't they? Zero below cards channel. Oh yeah, yeah. The warranty's certainly been voided with that snake. You don't get a second chance. There's no repair with this one. At least very. Oh shit. At least very little repair anyway with this one. Dude, I'm sorry. I don't think I have any rodents today. Matter of fact, I know I don't have any rodents, or I would feed you. Oh, I got you, Zero. Well, I remember Sonia telling you she would review things when she was sober. Man. We're stealing Valor now? What the fuck? Is it the Mohawk?
Hell yeah, man. Fucking anti-venom fucking is high price, man. I have some polyvalents and, a couple of others, but, what's so fucked up is the anti-venoms for, like the polyvalents and stuff, the stuff that I could treat monocle bites with and stuff, you know, they're actually relatively cheap anti-venoms. But when it comes to the anti-venoms, here, like Crofab, that shit is higher than camel cock. Oh, I heard that, man. I actually have a video in the works right now about that, Patrick. You know, he says he was pulling people out from the buildings. That is fucking disgusting. Yeah, he's 43, so 26 years ago, or 25 years ago. So whatever that comes out to, what was he, 17? Yeah, just a good citizen. Oh my, holy fuck, guys. Where were you when the world stopped turning? Yeah, he was just a couple blocks away, I think he said. Bobby Joe, we don't give out addresses or ask for addresses around here. You know this. Stop it. Mystic, I'm not sure. Do you know what we're talking about? If not, we can turn you on to it, though. Oh yeah, just like he worked at Applebee's with that dude, right? Okay, Mystic, we're talking about another channel. His channel is called E2. ETW. He's a fucking meathead. He's like a 43-year-old dude that does live streams. He's a ghost hunter and an alien chaser, and he is a compulsive liar, and he makes up some crazy stories, bro. Crazy stories. You gotta watch them, And I have a second channel myself that is called, here, I'm gonna put it in the chat, so if you will, Mystic, go on over to this channel and subscribe for me. This is my other channel. I'm putting it in the chat here right now. And you will be able to catch up on, some of the stuff right there on my channel to see what we're talking about. 'Cause it's pretty funny. You'll like it, I believe. Especially if you're into, laughing and shit. But if you type it in just as you see it there, at E2 Extra, you will love it. Yeah, working at Applebee's with no shirt. Yeah, 'cause if they got hot, they took their shirts off. Nah, man, don't sub to the meathead. Just sub to my channel, and you'll be able to catch the funny shit that we post. I clip some of his shit and add my own shit to it, and make short videos. I mean, you don't gotta sub if you don't want, man, but it's funny. I promise you that. Oh yeah, we're gonna do panels. All right, so we have 2 people for the panels, or well, maybe 3. We got myself, Just Ashley, and the Zombula. So we got 3 for a panel. Who else do we need for a panel? You couldn't comment on the shorts over there at my channel? What the fuck? I'm gonna have to check. What the fuck? Let me go see what's going on with that shit. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I got a shitload of. I hope I didn't accidentally, fucking block you somehow or something. Because I made you a moderator, but if you remember, I said I accidentally blocked you, but I thought it was Ashley I accidentally blocked. Maybe it was you yesterday when I did that first live stream. I'll get it figured out, Sue. It's probably my fault, though. Fuck. Fuckity fuck. Oh shit.
Let me look at this phone. Hey, does anybody here? Yeah, want some famous? Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Settings. I don't know. Does anybody who unblock somebody from a he is a terrestrial hunter? It might be. It might be, Miss. But if anybody knows how to unblock somebody from a mobile device, that would be fucking appreciated. Because I can't figure it the fuck out. I'm trying my laptop, but I think my fucking laptop died on me. Yeah, it did, you fucking filthy bastard. Let's see if I can go to. Let's try it this way. I think I got an idea. Let's go into here. Desktop site. Okay. The YouTubes. Oh, it's not extraterrestrial, it's just terrestrial. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a cotton picking quitter. Switch account. E2 extra. Okay. Now I just need to find studio. No, that's premium. I want studio. There's studio. Whoop, whoop. No, I don't want that. I want the fucking. No. No, bitch. You fucking bitch. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, you cum belching road whore. Studio. No, I don't want this studio popping up, man. Alright, we're gonna solve this trouble right fucking now. I've had it. Uninstall. Bam. Gone. Now, who's the bitch now? Who is the bitch now? Bitch. Got it. I think. Maybe. Maybe. Did I get it? 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 Community. Next. Come on, man. Yes, it's me for crying out fucking loud. This might fuck us. No, it didn't. Okay. So, I think it's this. Nope. It's not analytics. Please. Settings.
Channel content, no. Channel dashboard. There it is, I found it. Community moderation. User management. Hidden. Nah, Sue, you're not hidden. I don't know what the fuck. Sue, Zambula, Ashley, and Ethan. Nope. Huh. Alright. Well, Sue, you may have to try to drop a new comment over there, Sue, because it's like, it says that I didn't block you. Oh, yeah, the panel's going to open on extra. Do you want to be on the panel, Patrick? Who the fuck is ADHD something or another? Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. All right. Sure. You can play. Yes, sir. Do you want to be on the panel? The boy is live. Hey, what the fuck was the ADHD bro 420 person saying? They said, dude, what? And then did you just say that? And that's all I saw. Oh, you didn't see them in here? It's only 2 messages, and that was it. That was it while I was cussing. Gotcha. I called it a cum belching road whore. I've been good, Jamie. Been good. Yeah, Tom, I'm gonna whenever we do our panel, I'll send you the fucking wave so you can join. We're gonna do the panel tomorrow. Guys, hey, I'm gonna pull a live stream up right now on the extra channel here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull it up on extra. Oh yeah, he gonna be perfect for it. Gotta have a mohawk. Um, but I'm gonna start a live here on extra. All right, we live on extra. So I'm gonna grab a tripod. And as soon as everybody gets transitioned over to the extra, I'm not going to end the Reptarium stream, but it will be buffering until we return. So y'all head on over there to the extra.